accusation, alleging that the Chinese fishermen weren't just employing cyanide for fishing, but were intentionally damaging Bajo de Masinloc to hinder Filipino fishing activities in the area.
From harmful chemicals are still detected in fish samples collected from the area. So we note that the recommendation of the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources pertaining to the lifting of the fishing ban in the affected municipalities depend on the result of the laboratory analysis being conducted by the agency.
He even put a hefty price tag on the estimated damages, suggesting they could reach up to $17.8 million. While the Bureau expressed significant concern over the situation, they admitted they hadn't conducted a comprehensive study to assess the full extent of the damage. Nonetheless, Bruguera remained hopeful, stating, "We'll delve deeper, gather evidence, and ascertain whether it's indeed the Chinese fishermen or perhaps someone else at play here." The Philippine Coast Guard weighed in on the matter, indicating they hadn't uncovered any evidence to support the Fisheries Bureau's allegations. Commodore J. Tariella, speaking on behalf of the Coast Guard, stated, "We lack empirical data or concrete evidence implicating either Chinese or Vietnamese fishermen in the use of cyanide fishing in Bajo de Masinloc."
We asked him to sign an affidavit and also to look for the other fishermen who also experienced the same harassment on the day that the Chinese Coast Guard started harassing those Filipino fishermen who are gathering seashells. So after we have completed the investigation report, we're going to forward this to the National Task Force West Philippine Sea and for the concerned government agencies to take action.
This statement emphasizes the complexity of the situation and underscores the necessity for substantive evidence before drawing conclusions. Back in the 1960s, the Philippines fishing industry was notorious for its use of cyanide fishing to capture live fish destined for aquariums and restaurants, although this practice has significantly reduced over the years. However, a study conducted in 2023 by the Coastal Conservation and Education Foundation in Cebu, the Philippines, revealed that some Filipino fishermen still engage in cyanide fishing in the South China Sea. In response to these accusations, the Chinese state-linked tabloid, the Global Times, penned an article declaring that the Philippines had unjustly accused China of using cyanide. The outlet, which is known for closely aligning with Beijing's perspectives, labeled the allegations as groundless smears against China. This stance and echoed the viewpoints of the Chinese government. Scarborough Shoal has been a bone of contention in the South China Sea due to competing claims from China, Taiwan, and the Philippines. Its name traces back to the unfortunate incident involving a British ship that ran aground there almost 3 centuries ago. Over time, Scarborough Shoal has evolved into a symbol of the complex geopolitical dynamics in the region, sparking heated debates over sovereignty and fishing rights. Located about 124 miles off the coast of the Philippines within its exclusive economic zone, the shoal holds significant strategic and economic importance. Its scenic turquoise lagoon not only adds to its allure, but also serves as a safe harbor for ships seeking shelter during turbulent weather conditions. Moreover, the abundance of fish in its waters further enhances its value, making it a prime target for exploitation by neighboring countries. Given its proximity to the Philippines and its placement within its territorial waters, the shoal represents a vital asset for the country's maritime interests. However, conflicting territorial claims have resulted in a series of diplomatic disputes and tensions, underscoring the complexity of navigating the geopolitical landscape in the South China Sea. Scarborough Shoal, abundant in natural resources, has been a crucial fishing ground for Filipino fishermen for generations and was officially claimed by Manila in the 1930s. However, China has advanced historical claims, suggesting that Chinese astronomer Guo Shujing discovered the shoal way back in 1279, with Chinese fishermen utilizing the area throughout history. Back in 2016, there was this big tribunal showdown in The Hague, and the Philippines scored a win in a case about who owns this atoll. But China flat out refused to accept the decision and just kept on sending their warships and Coast Guard vessels on regular patrols around the area. And that didn't sit well with the Filipino fishermen. Lately, fishing groups in the Philippines have been sounding the alarm about the rising number of Chinese vessels in the area, sparking worries about overfishing and harm to the environment. In 2018, experts in Quezon City went as far as accusing Chinese vessels of inflicting significant harm to the atoll, which was evident from satellite images accessible on platforms such as Google Earth. More recently, tensions escalated as the Philippines accused China's Coast Guard of engaging in aggressive maneuvers to obstruct a Philippine ship delivering supplies to local fishing vessels. This incident underscores the ongoing challenges and confrontations in the South China Sea as competing interests clash over territorial claims and maritime resources. The president of the Philippines has made it clear that his administration is ready to take legal action if there's enough proof of cyanide fishing going down at Scarborough Shoal. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. was quoted by the country's official news agency as saying,
"The best that we know is that there really is, as far as we can tell. Sabi ng BIFAR, talagang merong ginagamit. Meron naman nagsasabi, matagal nang ginagawa yan. And I do know that there are cases of cyanide fishing before, even here in the Philippines. But I think the reason that it has become more alarming is that it has become more prevalent. Kaya yun ang inaalala natin. If we feel that there is enough ground to do so, we will.
From what we've gathered, it seems there's indeed evidence. In response to the statement by the Philippine fisheries industry, pointing fingers at Chinese fishermen, Manila stresses that the livelihoods of some 385,000 Filipinos hinge on seafood hauls in the waters around the country's exclusive economic zone. This zone stretches out about 200 nautical miles from the coastline, giving the Philippines the sole rights to the natural resources there, according to international maritime law. The potential fallout of cyanide fishing on these folks' lives is no joke, so the Philippines is ready to bring the legal hammer down if needed. According to Jay Terriella, spokesperson for the Philippine Coast Guard, the agency currently lacks evidence linking cyanide usage to vessels flagged under China or Vietnam. Fishermen from both countries, much like those from the Philippines, have historically operated in the shoal. A representative from the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources informed Newsweek on Tuesday that the allegation was based on accounts provided by local fisherfolk. The Bureau stated that an investigation had been initiated, as instructed by the country's Security Council. Should the investigation result in legal action, it wouldn't be the first time the Philippines has pursued a legal route to bring international attention to a dispute. So, according to Jay Terriella from the Philippine Coast Guard, they don't have any evidence yet pointing fingers at Chinese or Vietnamese boats for using cyanide. You know, both Chinese and Vietnamese fishermen have been hanging around Scarborough Shoal for ages, just like our Filipino fisherfolk. And get this, the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources told Newsweek that they're basing their accusation on what local fishermen are saying. So, they're launching an investigation all because the country's Security Council said so. If this whole thing ends up in court, it wouldn't be the first time the Philippines has gone that route to make a dispute known internationally. As this investigation progresses, it's clear that there's a lot at stake with people's livelihoods and the delicate marine environment hanging in the balance. The Philippines is exploring legal options to address this matter, and the global community is closely observing and understanding the broader implications for maritime security and environmental protection in the South China Sea. Stay tuned for more updates as the situation develops. Thank you for watching.